Hey everybody, this is Gabriel with Market Zero. Got 3 trades to review today. First one is a long. As watching price here, there was buyer absorption up at those higher levels. But as we came to VWAP and the previous day close, we saw a hyper aggressive seller volume imbalance, including a large delta percentage and a zero print. And then we printed this massive delta on the volume profile, which shows there are buyers present. Now, I didn't expect this with the seller volume imbalance to come through that level, but it's holding. So I have confidence that we should get above VWAP and the previous day close. And this adds additional confluence. The buyers are present, moving price up. So I'm feeling pretty good about this as long as we can hold this level here, this delta. I have a starter position, so I'm ready to add full position. And now with that volume imbalance stacked zones, it got taken out. It looked like it's not going to work out. And here I tried to exit and then hit the wrong button. So that didn't go as well I wanted, and I exited that starter for a bit of a loss in this trade that I added by accident. Trade number 2, it's going short. We had an impulsive volume for buyers failing to move price up. So a lot of times it's an indication of price going the opposite direction because participants can't move price the way they want. So here I'm short, stop above this buyer delta and the VWAP and close from the previous day. Again, I'm taking a single starter contract, just to get a feel of price action. And I continue on, I see there's now buyer volume absorption on this. And that, along with that, the seller delta percentage shows that we have, and that right there, yeah, strong, it can be a zero prints, volume imbalance from sellers creating zones. They're stack zones. And now more additional delta percentage. So you see the conflicting signals now came up here. I got seller absorption, a delta, and now a seller delta in the volume profile. Now, if this moves above that level, we might have trap sellers below us and trap buyers above us. So now I'm getting conflicting signals. That seller delta percentage of 22% should have price moving lower. But now there's like signals for long and short. We do see liquidity here. We got this large volume impulse on Bookmap that should move price lower. But we're showing signs of like absorption of sellers. There's like a 1400 right now. And now I'm not sure if I want to stay in this or not. I'm thinking I want to move break even, which looks like I am doing right now. And got out of that trade. Last trade, this was profitable, although I executed the render incorrectly. So here we have buyer stacked volume balances, great amount of volume there. But then we don't see that on Bookmap. And we're at the 30-minute opening range low and below that seller delta up at 708. So those buyers that had that massive imbalance that now get filled was not rewarded. And see here the volume from the sellers is greater than the buyers. And so they're probably still in control. We see a buyer delta percentage of 23% that didn't move price up. And now we have a lot of selling signals here, 4 of them. You can pause the screen and read those. And so I've added full position here. With that stacked volume and balance for sellers, that's a pretty good sign that we're going lower. So at this point, looking at what we have here, we have the buyer delta percentage of 23%. We have the stacked seller volume imbalance and the current bar at the top. The areas I'm looking at now are these LVNs below where you see the cursor. So what I do typically is I'll have my first profit target be 2 to 1, And I'll set runners at the additional LVNs, which you see in the right-hand side. So the first target was 6993, which is 2-to-1 for the first contract. Second contract for profit target at 69.89 for running the first LVN from the previous day. And then my last runner is down at 69.85, which is for running the LVN and the buyer stacked volume imbalance from the previous day, which formed from a footprint, which you can't see in the chart, but my indicator will render any zones, even if the bar is not on the chart. As long as you load those days, you get the data, and all the zones will extend to the right to the current period, which is pretty sweet. Unfortunately, I didn't really heed that warning from my runner. I'll let this kind of speed up here. We see there's trapped buyers above by the overnight low. We just see my key level indicator showing that, and now we have some sellers forming a delta. Another strong impulse of selling on Bookmap, which aligns with that delta on the volume profile. So it's a pretty sure thing. We took the first profit target out. We're now going for number 2 and 3. And this is where I get a little adventurous. And after it hits the second one, I thought, hey, let's go for that gap fill. So I let this play out. The second profit target looks pretty certain. But I'm thinking, let's hit that LVN down at 69.72, 75. I said my profit target set at 73. And this is what I was shooting for right here. That target of the gap fill. It didn't happen though. And instead, this is what happened. It went back up to my profit target above, which was pretty much my stop loss moved into the profit area. So overall, ended the day green, 3 trades. And if you have the right risk to reward ratio, you will end in profit, which is great. You can be as low as 33% profitable and still be flat if you have the right risk to reward ratio of at least 2-to-1. In this case, I'm typically targeting 3-to-4. So thanks for listening to my trades. Hopefully this is of value. If there's anything else you want to see, please let me know. Again, if you are on Trade-of-It, I have a nice layout of information here that helps those of you that are on the free indicator and are looking to move over to the NinjaTrader indicator. There are some differences here. We have bid-ask columns. We have 0 prints that are per session. You can set those for RTH or full session. We have volume imbalances, stacked volume zones, and the delta percentage. It's based on feedback that many of you have given me. So we do have a 30-day trial. At the end of this month, starting February 1st, I'll move this down to a 14-day trial. I kind of did this 30-day because I released it over the Christmas, New Year's break. And of course, you can join the free Discord. There's a room for those that are on the free versions where you can come in there and ask questions around the Trade-of-It indicator and also see the posting of all my videos. And if you do end up taking the full suite, you'll have access to additional rooms where I'll share my morning plan and some other information as well. You know, what I showed today in the video is the Footprint Pro, Volume Profile Pro, and Key Levels Pro. And you can always see more information on each one of those on the main webpage here, where I break down each one of the 3 indicators. Hope everybody had a good day and happy trading.